Hey, what's up? This is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. And who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to ask a question. Is now the right time for a unification bout between Jermell Charlo and Tim Tszyu? Really quick, if you like the videos, please take the time to subscribe to the channel. I know I sound like a broken record, but I gotta say this. Please take the time to subscribe to the channel. Also hit that thumbs up button. It does help. So here's the question. Is now the right time for a unification bout at 154 pounds for Jermell Charlo and Tim Tszyu? Okay, so let's look at this. Jermell Charlo does have a mandatory coming up with Baclaram. He's not an easy competitor by no way, shape, or form. He's no walk in the park, and he is a true test. However, 154 needs an undisputed champion, and that could be made easy because one guy has 3 belts and one guy has 1. So let's just make this fight happen. And the reality is, Baclaram, he's a mandatory, but Tim Tszyu's been waiting for what, a year? Well, more than a year, actually. So let's just make this fight happen. The question is that a good idea? Is it a good idea for Jermell Charlo? Is it a good idea for Tim Tszyu? Tim Tszyu did just have a fight versus Brian Mendoza, in which case, you know, he seemed pretty unscathed. He wasn't lying when he said he was ready to go and, you know, he needed the rounds. He did need the rounds, but he looked phenomenal. He looked amazing in the fight. And he didn't seem to be sore or anything. He didn't look like he had too many marks or a mark on his face after the fight. But you never know how you may feel eternally, especially the day after. You look at Jermell Charlo, he just had a fight with Canelo Alvarez, in which case he didn't have the best showing ever. He didn't look too good in the fight. However, he also didn't have a scratch on himself after the fight. I think he was being 98% defensive during the fight, so he wasn't going to come out with a scratch or anything like that. So in terms of both guys' health, they're both seem to be 100%. I don't see any reason why, you know, either guy would need to take an extended long break after the fights that they just had, because although Jermell Charlo was on the losing end of the stick, he didn't take a lot of damage. Like I said, he was on the back foot. He was covering up 80% of the time, and there was not a whole lot of damage. I mean, he didn't seem to be damaged. The only thing that's damaged from Jermell Charlo is his ego right now. And then you look at Tim Tszyu, he's riding high on momentum, so I don't really see anything wrong with him or anything that he got hit with heavily. I mean, and if there was he's probably should win Actor of the Year, maybe an Oscar, because not one time in the fight did he back up. So I don't foresee him being hurt in any way, shape, or form. So should they make the fight? Well, what's the danger of making the fight? Well, let's see. Jermell's coming off a loss, and he also has very low self-esteem right now. Tim Tszyu, nothing. There's no danger. Like, nothing. Tim Tszyu is riding the wave right now. Okay, so no, there's no danger for him. What's the reward? Well, Jermell Charlo becoming undisputed champion all over again, proving all the doubters and naysayers wrong, becoming a 2-time undisputed world champion at that weight class, reclaiming the throne. You know, a lot of people said that he was ducking Tim Tszyu. I don't really know how you can consider fighting Canelo Alvarez, arguably the best fighter on the earth right now in boxing, how you could say that's a duck. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I get it, you want to see the fight, and I get it, you want a unification bout, but don't lie and delude yourself in believing that you know, Jermell Charlo fighting Canelo Alvarez is a duck. It's not a duck. He's taking on a much bigger guy and arguably a way much more skillful guy and experienced guy. He has nothing but threat coming after him. So no, that's not a duck. What's the reward for Tim Tszyu? Well, it's not equal to Jermell Charlo, but becoming undisputed champion, come completely from under his dad's shadow and being recognized by his first name and not his last name. That's what he's been searching for. That's what he's been striving for. And I truly do believe that's part of what drives him. Because even when I you know, there's comments for my page, a lot of the comments always go back to, you know, his father. In which case, he's not fully from under the shadow of his father. And, you know, who's to say he'll ever get from under that name? Now, I will tell you this. The way he's moving, the way he's operating, he could definitely get from under that shadow because He's rocking and rolling right now. So he can definitely get from under the shadows. If he keeps on the track that he's going, and it seems like he will, his momentum, like I said, is high. But not just his momentum from the people and his love and support and admiration from his countrymen in Australia, but also from within. He's doing a phenomenal job. He's seeing what happens when you work hard. He's seeing what happens when you run that extra mile. He's seeing what happens when you take an extra few minutes to hit the bag a little longer. He's seeing what happens. He's seeing what happens when you stay disciplined to your diet. He's seeing what happens when you don't show up late to practice and you show up early to practice. He's seeing all these things. He's seeing that the reward from it is success. The reward from it is you walk out of a fight unscathed. That's the reward. That's the reward. And, of course, the love and honor from your countrymen don't hurt. You know, it's a little added bonus on the top. So who has more, obviously, to gain? I would say Jermell Charlo. He definitely has more to gain. He's the one who's coming off a loss. He's the one, you know, as everybody's kind of making memes about. He's definitely the one who he has more to gain. Let's be honest. He has more to gain. Can Jermell Charlo beat Tim Tszyu right now, in this moment? I don't know. Number one, he has to lose a lot of weight. That's number one. He has to lose some weight. And number two, his mind has to be in the right place. I don't think it's necessarily a question of skill setting. I think Jermell Charlo, fix my hat. I don't think it's a question of skill setting. I think Jermell Charlo is still a very skilled combatter. That's not the point or the question. That's not what's in question. Let me say it like that. What's in question is his mindset. What's in question is his self-belief. What's in question is he going to internalize what everybody's saying about him? Or is he going to say, you don't know me? When my back's against the wall, I rise to the occasion. I have 2 fights that have proven that I rise to the occasion. The second Harrison fight and the second Castano fight, I can prove on film that I know how to rise to the occasion. Will this moment be any different? There's a big question mark about that question. We don't know yet. Can Tim Tszyu beat Jermell Charlo right now? Right now, 60-40. Yes. Tim's momentum, Tim's lifestyle is formidable. His lifestyle, listen to what I'm saying. His lifestyle is formidable. I said it before and I'll say it again. Jermell Charlo lives an athletic lifestyle. Meaning like he's on a bike, you know, he's always in a gym, he's running or something like that. You know, he's lifting some weights or something. While Tim Tszyu lives a fighter's lifestyle. He's in the gym punching bags all day, hitting mitts all day, sparring all day. Jermell Charlo is not always sparring. He's always in shape. One thing you got to say about Jermell Charlo, the dude is always in shape. But is he always in fight shape? That's the difference. So Tim Tszyu's lifestyle is formidable. Tim Tszyu lives a very disciplined, militant lifestyle. But look at what it's produced. It's produced a mad dog who's been on a tear, destroying everything and everyone in his path. I'll leave that at that. Everyone believes in Tim Tszyu right now. Let's just be honest. Everyone believes in him. We have no reason not to. Every time there's someone put in front of him, he not only gets rid of them, but he gets rid of them in a fashion in which we were not expecting. That's the truth. He has risen to the occasion time and time again. You keep giving him these papers, and he keeps making an A++ on these papers. That's the truth. No one believes in Charlo. That's not a knock on the man. It's just the truth. Nobody believes in him right now. Charlo said a lot of things in the Canelo Alvarez fight that, you know, a lot of people like myself were expecting him to live up to. He did not. He didn't live up to any of it. I don't mind you losing. That's the sport of boxing. I don't care who it is. Tim Tszyu, Jermell Charlo, Floyd Mayweather. It doesn't matter. Canelo Alvarez. Well, he's already lost. But anybody who stays in this game long enough, you will lose. I don't care who you are. You will meet your match one day. I can promise you that. Anybody who's ever boxed, anybody who's ever sparred anybody, I don't care who you are. You ever been in a gym and you're going to lose. It is what it is. I don't care who it is. You're going to lose. You stay in this ring long enough, you will run into somebody who will beat you. And then if you stay even longer, you overlive your stay in this ring, you're going to find somebody who's going to put you out, period. So he didn't live up to what he said. He said a lot of things. He said it was for the culture. He said all these things. Well, you didn't do any of it. That's just the truth. You didn't do any of it. We weren't necessarily expecting you to win, but we were expecting you to be a lion. King of the beast. That's what we were expecting. We were expecting you to be a lion. Lions are ferocious. Lions are not cowards. Period. Lions are ferocious and they are not cowards. They fight back. And there's nothing else after that. They fight back. So we were expecting you to come out with 2 black eyes, maybe a broken nose, a busted jaw, cut over your eye or something like that, maybe a cracked rib, showing that you gave it your all. That's the way you spoke. That's the way we believed it. I'm speaking, as a fan, so I'm speaking on behalf of the fans. That's the way you spoke. That's the way we heard what you said, and we believed it. You didn't do that. You didn't do that. You took the low road, and you played it safe. You survived. If you would have gone out on your shield, we'd be cheering your praise right now. We actually really would be. Look at Errol Spence. Did he win any round in that fight against Terrence Crawford? No. But we have to respect the fact that he kept getting up and he kept marching forward. He didn't back up. He didn't look to the corner like, save me. He kept marching forward. And say what you want about Errol Spence, you have to respect that about him. He didn't have his best showing, but he had an honorable showing. And that's where Jermell Charlo fell off. He didn't have an honorable showing. We weren't expecting him to, listen, it's a possibility he wasn't going to win. 2 men go out, 1 man's going to come out victorious. It's a possibility you're not going to win. But it's how you lose. It's how you lose. He didn't lose like a champion. He didn't lose like a champion. It is what it is. You're an undisputed champion. You didn't lose like one. You had nothing at stake to lose. So maybe that was the thing that wasn't driving you. But fighting Tim Tszyu, now you have something to lose. And there's no excuses. Because now you can say, well, I was 168 pounds. I'm 154 pounds. I jumped 2 weight classes. I was a lot slower. I don't hit as hard at this weight. Yeah, well, that was a choice. You chose that. That was a choice. And there it is. However, I'm going to close this and I'm going to say there is an ace in the hole. Now hear me out. There is an ace in the hole in this fight between Jermell Charlo and Tim Tszyu. You want to know what it is? Or rather, who it is? Jermell Charlo. That's right. It's Jermell Charlo. At the Canelo fight, the brothers, they made up. They hadn't seen each other for quite some time. I believe it was well over a year. And they weren't on speaking terms. They made up. Everybody was asking Jermell, will your brother be here? And he said, I don't know. I don't need him. He's not going to get in a ring and fight for me. So what difference does it make? Well, when they asked Jermell, he said, of course it's my brother. It's my brother's biggest fight of his career. Of course I'm going to be here. Of course I'm going to support my brother. Whatever we got going on, we put that aside so I can be here for my brother. Respectable. Why is this an ace in the hole? Well, Jermell said during the press conference with Canelo that, the reason why he was so calm and reserved was because he didn't have his brother in his ear. And he said, I don't have all the craziness that comes with him. But Jermell Charlo's at his best when he's riled up, when he's doubted, when he's angry. And when he and his brother are on good terms. That's when he's at his best. They're twins. And that goes vice versa for Jermell as well. They're at their best. The night that Jermell lost to Tony Harrison, Jermell had a crappy fight because he was thinking about his brother. Where am I going with this? I was speaking earlier about Tim Tszyu with momentum. You bring Jermell to Jermell's camp if he's fighting Tim Tszyu, and we get a reinvigorated Jermell Charlo. We get a Jermell Charlo who has self-belief, because that Jermell Charlo doesn't need the comfort or belief of anyone else. He just needs it with the guy who he shared a sack with for 9 months. That's it. The guys who are like this are now going to be like this again. You stick those two in a camp. Oh, yeah. That's a rally cry. You put Jermell in Jermell's camp for Tim Tszyu, and that changes everything. That fight goes from 60-40, in my personal opinion, to 50-50. 60-40 to 50-50. That's just having Jermell in the gym while Jermell trains, in my personal opinion. That's how much he matters. I think he's an ace in the hole. I think he's the rally cry. I think he's the battle cry. I think that other line, because the reality is, if you know anything about animals, you know anything about lions, they're packed animals. There's a pride of lions. So you put those lions together, and now you got a formidable force. I think so. You have a very formidable alliance. And I don't just mean that, I mean that physically, just, what it's going to transpire in the gym. But I also mean that mentally. If my best friend in the whole world, the guy who I was born with, believes in me, I don't need anybody else's support. I don't need anybody else's belief in me. I could care less what the writers are writing about me. Doesn't matter. All I got to do is fight one guy. And the guy I was born with, he's right by my side. We made up. That hole in me has been filled by the guy who fills it. I'm sorry. I think Jermell Charlo is an ace in the hole. Their camaraderie is the thing that shifts the fight between Jermell Charlo and Tim Tszyu. Those are my thoughts. You know the routine. Drop your thoughts down below. As always, please like, please share, please subscribe to this channel.